Hello, this is Darius with Divine Numerology making a YouTube video. Today I'm going to be talking about the number 5 in the sequence of the other numbers that I have on the channel. Number 5 correlates in numerology to changes. It correlates to freedom and the ability to adapt as new things are introduced to us in our life. The ability to be willing to separate and detach from that which feels familiar, that which we're used to. 5 energy is really associated with the planet Mercury because of Mercury's changeableness. Mercury moves very quickly in the solar system, and Mercury is also the planet of communication. So when it comes to 5, it also has the traits and characteristics of the planet Mercury, which is why people that are associated with the number 5 tend to gravitate toward business, because Mercury is a very business-oriented planet. It carries that energy frequency. It's the number of the intellect. 5 is intellect, intelligence, and thinking, the ability to think clearly. The 5 as the element has the element of fire. So it's a very hot number energy. And that goes along well with the fact that it is a fast moving number. Since 5 is associated with the planet Mercury, it also is associated with travel among the masses, travel among mankind, because 5 also represents humanity. There's a lot of different things associated with the number 5 when you really get into it. I actually have a little poem that comes from this book. I recommend that anyone that's interested in learning about numerology check out this book right here, The Life You Were Born to Live. This is the very first book of numerology that I ever had, and it has right here a poem. In this book it associates the number 5 with freedom and discipline, and it says, imagine a bird soaring high above, feeling one kind of freedom. To experience life fully, it must land and go through the arduous task of building a nest. Through this discipline comes another kind of freedom, to experience the depths of its life. How have you felt free? How have you felt trapped? Can you apply the discipline in your life to explore the depths, and in those depths to find another kind of freedom? Then it has a quote. It says, adventure is not outside, it is within. So this is really interesting because it's really highlighting the journey of freedom. What it is that actually brings and creates freedom is the path of self-discipline. Because what self-discipline affords us is the ability to do things on our own terms. Through self-discipline, we establish a foundation for ourselves that's solid enough to be able to adapt to the changes that life naturally will bring. When it says that the bird is building the nest, there's a lot of work that goes into building that nest that the bird has to do. There's the collecting of the branches, the collecting of the twigs, and all the other parts that goes into it. The cushioning, the cotton, the different little feathers, or whatever it is that bird uses to create the coziness of that nest, to create all the things. Then once it's applied and done that work, then it has the freedom of having a nest. It's left its own nest to create its own nest. Left its home nest to create its own nest, right? So in that process, it's self-discipline. Self-discipline is the thing that it applies this is important for the number 5 because 5 must have discipline. But it's important that the discipline for the 5 comes from within, comes from the self in the form of self-discipline. Otherwise, because the 5 is a lover of freedom, it will naturally rebel against anything that is enforced upon it. With that last quote by David Grayson, it's really appropriate because it says, "Adventure is not outside; it is within." So that's taken from this book here, "The Life You Were Born to Live" by Dan Millman. There's another little quote right here. It says, "Individuals working 5 as a life purpose are here to find inner freedom through discipline, focus, and depth of experience." That's also another frequency of the 5 energy. However, because the path to our life purpose can seem steep and rocky, people with the 5 primary purpose as their life, it means that you're going to find challenges related to freedom and discipline. There's going to be people that are going to be a limiting factor, a limiting force in your life. Why? Is so that you can transcend those imposed limitations. Some key words that are associated with 5: freedom, movement, unrestricted, excitement, variety, people, sensations, energy, many-sided, talent, experience, stimulation, shifting, mercurial as in changeable, movable, experiential, sexuality, motion, spontaneous, detaching, letting go. All these things are associated with the number 5. And I took these key words out of this book right here. I recommend that everyone get. This is this is like the best numerology series that I've actually read. This one right here. King's Book of Numerology. Maybe it looks backward on the video, but it's called The King's Book of Numerology. Highly recommend it. It's actually the book written by my numerology mentor. And then another part of it at the bottom says, if you're experiencing a time frame of 5, you're going to experience change. You're going to experience all these themes related to those numbers. You're going to have desire, right? That's going to be a theme. It's a time of change, shifting, movement, uncertainty, freedom, detachment, letting go, exploring, investigating, experimenting, sexuality, sensual gratification. So if you're experiencing those 5 energies, these are some of the frequencies you might be experiencing, right? As far as the tarot, the 5 is linked to the 5th card in the tarot, which is the Hierophant. If you can see that right there. The Hierophant, the teacher, the traditional teacher. And he's associated with the sign of Taurus. Here's another version of the Hierophant card. You can look right there, see the sign of Taurus. It's associated with that because it's so interesting. Taurus is associated with the 5th month, which currently we are in the 5th month. So that is my take so far, just a brief take. There's much more to learn about the number 5 and all the other numbers, but that is a brief take into the number 5. My name is Darius. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and click the bell after you've subscribed so that you get all videos, you get a notification whenever I release one. You guys have an awesome night, evening, day, wherever you are in the world, and peace.